Hi students, and welcome back to the In My Feelings Mental Wellness Emotional Intelligence course. Now we are on lesson 4. Now lesson 4 covers a very important subject, which is called emotional addiction. Yes. So you know when people say I need my fix, you can also need a fix of emotions, and usually some of those emotions are negative that we feed on, that we become very obsessed with. So basically what emotional addiction means is a person becoming dependent on a particular emotion for comfort, escape, or relief. They become so intently obsessed with that emotion and they just want to get a fix. Now, emotions naturally are for our survival because, like we spoke in a couple of lessons back, is that people are hardwired for connection, and connection is part of our survival. So we need to gravitate towards other people, and we are social creatures. So emotions are really just there to help us experience life in its full colorfulness. But it does not mean that it does not mean that we should use our emotions as an addiction. Now, I do understand that sometimes we're addicted to certain emotions because of our childhood and they were part of our coping tools, which is what we covered in lesson 1. That some of us are still using our childhood coping tools that no longer serve us. And most of us know that, especially when we were teens, anger was our coping tool when our parents didn't understand us, when our parents were just very distant from us and they disapproved of us. We used anger as a weapon, against them to shield ourselves from the pain and to not be vulnerable and to just lash out at them. So that type of emotion can be very addictive because if we spent most of our childhood really doing all of that, being angry and pushing people away who made us feel like we were less than, it's easy to continue that emotion because every time we walk into the room, immediately our self-talk or our perception is assuming that all these people are disapproving of us because we spent most of our childhood feeling that way. So we're just aggressive for no reason. We just want to be aggressive. We don't know how to really express vulnerability because every time we feel sad or feel vulnerable, our defaulting emotion is anger. So now, what do we do in this situation? Because we know that we are emotionally addicted, and most of the time people who are emotionally addicted just lead with their emotions in every situation. They don't engage their cognitive function. They don't engage the more logical sides of their brain where you assess the situation, try and figure out what is happening, pause in the moment, and then make a decision. No, when you're emotionally addictive, you just lead with your feelings and you try and justify them afterwards. You're like, you know what? Those people looked at me in a certain way and I did not like the way they looked at me, so I just blasted them. And then people will be like, but they didn't say anything to you. Like, well, I was not going to wait for them to say anything. I know what I saw and I am not sorry. Like most people say, I said what I said. You know what I mean? So you know that saying, it's a simple response of trying to justify why you are always aggressive. So one of the challenges I am going to give to you is for you to choose 3 people in your life that you trust and love, and you go and speak to them and ask them, how do you come across to them? And in different situations, like when there's an argument or when there's like a vulnerable moment, how do you normally respond? And that can help kind of give you an idea if you are emotionally addicted to a certain type of feeling, because there's always a pattern and it's always triggered by those types of situations. But now, to make sure that if you are emotionally addicted and you want to just overcome that or start working on it, here are 3 ways that you can do that. Now, the first one is self-regulating. That means regulating your emotions. So you know already that you're a person who gets overwhelmed by their emotions and just reacts as soon as something happens. As soon as something triggers your emotions, you in there and you go for it. So now you will have to actually make a conscious effort of when something is happening and you feel your emotions just coming up to the surface, you pause. And you really just kind of engage your cognitive functioning, which is like your brain processes, your decision making, your logic, your concentration, all of those things. You just engage those processes before actually making a decision or responding back to the situation. That helps you, but it's a work in progress. It's going to take time because this didn't happen overnight, but it's worth doing it, because that way you can start reprogramming how you reprogram your brain and reprogramming how you respond to those particular situations. And it becomes a ripple effect for future similar situations. All right. The second one is self-soothing. So you need to learn how to calm yourself. So there's many techniques out there, including meditation, breathing exercises. All those types of things allow you to give yourself some sort of tool to just bring back harmony into your body, calm your brain, because whenever you're emotional, everything just feels crazy. Your thoughts are chaotic, your body's symptoms have settled in, responding to this emotion that's bubbling up inside of you. So you have to find a way to calm yourself. And the third thing is knowing that their emotions have limitations. Meaning that you can only go so far with emotions. Yes, something triggered you in the environment, or somebody said something you did not like. Now you're angry. But that does not mean that what they've said is the complete truth and your perception is correct. There are so many sides to a story. Like they say, there's 2 sides to a story, or 3 sides to a story. My story, your side, my side, and the truth, as people would say. So the thing is, when you're in the moment and you're feeling very emotionally strong, it's so easy to just lead with that emotion, but it's not the true representation of what is happening in that moment. So that's why it's important to just engage those brain processes, which are logic, decision making, and pausing, and just really thinking things through. Despite feeling a certain way, try and think things a little bit more better, and just try and figure out what is really happening in the environment. Yes, you're angry, but what is really, really happening right now? And by doing that, you're slowing down your response time, and it gives you enough time to just regroup and calm yourself before you actually just take action towards the situation. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this lesson. I loved giving it, and I hope that you will go to your workbook, do the activity, and also take those tips and start implementing them if you are feeling that there are emotions that you are addicted to and you find comfort in despite them being negative. This is a good time to start working on them. And also, once again, it is important to seek professional help. If you feel that you're in too deep and it's not something that you can do by yourself, it's important to go find a counselor or a therapist to help guide you through the process. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this lesson.